Dang, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at my storage soon, bro. It's probably filling up
Yeah, probably.
exponentially.
All right. Man, it's hot in the studio today. Dude, I'm not even kidding. It's like 96 degrees outside. Florida's having like a heat wave this week.
Man, it's been gloomy here.
Nah, bro. I've been like I've like go outside. I'm like,
It's weird, bro. It's like because we're basically almost like halfway to summer. Well, basically there. I mean, when does summer start? In June? Yeah, and like, bro, it's still like mid 60s. It's been gloomy, and I'm like, not that. I mean, Cali, over where my girl lives, it'll get like super hot, but over here, like, usually doesn't necessarily pass like the 80s, but I feel like it would have already been there by then. Like, it's been a really cold season, bro.
I think that's why I want to live in like Tampa or like just by water, period. Because I realized when you're a little more landlocked, you don't get a breeze, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a stagnant, like, it's like an oven.
Well, and also it's just more humid in Florida anyway, so shout out to all you Floridians out there watching this episode, because I don't have to deal with that anymore.
What a selfish little man.
You had something you wanted to start the episode off with?
Don't make it sound like that. It's nothing extravagant. I was just saying,
I don't know. He was just like talking about something, and then he's like, oh, wait. So I'm like, all right, go ahead.
It's just because I was like, I don't know much to talk about today. It's been one of those weeks. I've been kind of like in a funk recently. I don't know why your iPad's zooming in on your knee, but
dang.
Right, what is Ty trying to show me right now? He's trying to play peekaboo? I don't know. But anyway, so I don't know. Lately I've been in like a funk. Like, I've been like real unmotivated, right? But I've been trying to like do more things.
Just like
life, like a lot of things just haven't been like going either as planned or something was supposed to play out this way and it's either altogether not, or it's like, oh, it's supposed to happen now, but you're gonna have to wait like 3 more months actually for it to happen.
Right.
And then you're just like, oh, like so it's just been like back to back, a bunch of stuff like that. This late night work schedule has been taking a toll on me and like my life, just because it's so weird. It's such I don't like going to bed. I've always been like, oh, I'm a night owl, but I'm like, no, I'm like an early night owl. Like 2 a.m. is like when I like to go to bed, like the latest. Like 2. I'll push it to 3, but I prefer 2.
Which
I don't like
think
waking
2
up past...
a.m. is still considered a night owl. It's just you're on like the extended night owl. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like,
I'll
be going to bed at
like I'll tell people I go to bed at like 1 or 2, and they'll look at me like I'm nuts, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I tell people I go to bed at like 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And people are like, but then it's also like I sleep it, like I can't help it. Like I don't get good sleep anymore. I feel like every time I wake up, even if I have 8 hours of sleep, like I just can't get up. Like it takes like an extra hour of me like snoozing. Yeah. The other day I snoozed my alarm 14 times. Yeah. And I just like physically like couldn't get up. Like it was terrible. But anyway, so I've been trying to like be more active in the gym, because I was like, you know what, maybe if I, get rid of some extra energy and like just like get back on like being healthy, maybe I'll feel a little bit better about myself. Maybe I get a little more motivated. I don't know, like just like I feel like the best way. I was actually talking to my buddy yesterday, because he's kind of going through more or less the same thing. I think his is a little worse, but he's just trying to be active because you have no motivation to do anything. So then you're like, I'm just going to start doing things so I can just get out of the habit that I'm in. So the gym's like my habit that I'm trying to get back into. And I've been taking it seriously, like I've been taking, I'm natural for, I know I look like I'm not natural, but I am natural. But I take like the BCAA, the creatine, magnesium. I've been trying to do better with like taking vitamins every day. Things like that, my protein intake. And the biggest toll is that I was blessed with smellless farts and poops. Like, I fart all the time, but no one knows because they don't smell. How many times have I pooped with the door open and you didn't even know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I poop with the door open so I can don't have to stop conversations.
I apologize for this chat event.
But like, bro, because of all the protein, they've been stinky. And I didn't realize how much I fart until this past week because it's been stinking like this week. Because, bro, like, I'll be at work and I'm like, normally I'll just like not even a second thought. I'll just let it fly out because it don't stink and nobody know. But now I'm like, oh gosh, death is coming.
Now you crop dusting.
Yeah, bro, I literally like be talking to someone and then I'll have to like take a few steps away, fart, and then come back and they'll be like, what'd you do? And I'm like, oh, I farted. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, bro, I feel like that's the worst part about going back to the gym. Other than like the full soreness, because I know you've like had your time off, but I don't think you've ever like, you've been very good at being consistent at the gym over the years. Like I've never heard you be like, bro, I haven't been to the gym in like 2-3 months.
No, I think
Never.
The longest I probably miss is when I go back home for like a week.
Yeah, so like what, week, 2 weeks max? Yeah, I think the longest was probably like when you were shooting that movie in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And even then, it was like it wasn't all the time.
Even then, I drove. It was funny. You gotta do what you gotta do. I was finessing a lot of like I got a free LA fitness membership, but like I got it to like 3 different ones because I was up there for like 2 weeks, and then Planet Fitness had like, I think it was, I don't know if it was just a day or 2 days, but then like they just never asked me when I went in, so I just kept going in for like a couple days, and like they didn't ask me to scan or anything. I guess they didn't really care, but I was like, all right. So I basically got free gym membership when I was up there shooting the film for a little bit.
Exactly, bro, and that's fire. So I unfortunately have not had that type of discipline with the gym. I've definitely had like months off.
Yeah.
And you know, now I'm trying to get back into it, and I think the hardest part is your pride. Because 1, obviously you're gonna be significantly weaker.
Yeah.
But then 2, it's like, bro, I'm like so much weaker, and I'll be like, oh, this is cake, this is light, or like, yeah, this is a little bit of a struggle, but I got this. And then the next day, bro, it's like as if I just like ripped my muscle in half because I'm just so sore.
Yeah. That'll happen to me with abs a lot because I try to do them more consistently now, but like, you know, sometimes I'll miss like a couple weeks and like I'll really feel it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. I was also my gym doesn't I don't know what their problem is with the machines. It's CF. But some of the machines only say the number of how much the weight is. So like for example, I was doing it's abductor, right? When you're squeezing your legs in. Yeah, the hip abductors. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it light. I'm gonna do 40 pounds. Like it's all good.
Uh-huh.
And it was a struggle. And I'm like, man, bro, I'm struggling with 40 pounds. Like that's crazy. Even my girlfriend's like, you didn't go light clearly because I was so sore. And she's like, what weight did you do it? I said 40. And she's like, oh, really? And I was like, bro, I'm such a kid, right? Such a child, you know, because we're trying to keep it PG. I'm just a little brat right now. And then I realized it was in kilograms. So I was doing 88 pounds. And that's, bro, I could not walk for 2 days at my work.
Does it not say both of them?
Nope, it just said 40. It didn't even say kilograms.
So weird.
Because then I looked at my friend the next time I did legs, I went with my buddy, and we were on it, and I went on the same machine. I did 40, and I'm like, bro, like, I feel better than I did last time I did 40, but still, this is a lot. And I said, how much are you doing? He said, oh, I'm doing 120. And I was like, bull. I'm like, that's bull. I'm like, I am struggling with 40 pounds right now. Like, I am struggling. And then I went on his, and then I did him on 120. And then I was like, huh. And then I looked up how much is 40 kilograms, and yeah, it was like 88 pounds or something like that. And I was like, dang.
Yeah, but that machine will make you sore, bro, too. I think just because, like, you know, that's really, I mean, I guess if you do squats and stuff, you hit it, but that's such a direct way to hit that muscle. Because, like, that will be too. Like, when I do legs, I can go hard on my quads. I can go hard on my hamstrings. But if I do, like, just a couple sets of that inside leg one, the adductor, whatever it is, both of them really, it's, like, the most sore the next day. But, yeah, bro, I don't know. I mean, nowadays, as I've gotten a little bit, not saying I'm old, but as I've gotten older, like, I don't even necessarily, like, the weight I do, like, it doesn't, like, affect me anymore. Like, I used to be super concerned with, like, how much I was doing, and, like, you know, if I wasn't able to do as much as I did a couple weeks ago or this or that. And I mean, I do think it is important to, like, kind of keep track and notice just because of, like, progressive overload reasons. But I don't know. I mean, I just feel like nowadays, like, I go to the gym and, like, my goal is to, one, just be healthy, obviously, to get active exercising. But also it's, like, just to, like, work out and keep my physique, you know what I mean? Because, like, unless I'm doing a roll or something in specific, like, I'm not necessarily trying to be, like, a bodybuilder anymore. Like, I just want to look good. And so, like, for me, it's different. Because also I'm, like, I know that when I used to go super heavy, like, my form would be compromised. My joints would just hurt a lot more. And I'm, like, I'm not trying to do all that, man. Like, I'm not trying to be 50 and, like, all my joints are messed up because I was trying to freaking, you know, lift the heaviest weight in the gym. Not saying that's what you're doing, but I feel like, you know, when, especially nowadays, like, you see these kids in the gym, like, doing deadlifts and, like, their form is terrible. Their back is, like, super bent over. It's not, like, locked in. And I'm like, bro, you're going to have so many problems when you're older because you're just trying to, like, lift as heavy as you can. And I'm like, that's not, like, that should never be the goal in the gym. But I'm like, that's even, like, that's kind of what it is, like, for young kids, because of what they've been influenced by with all these, like, fitness influencers that are probably on steroids, you know what I mean? But before we continue, let's cue that intro because it's so beautiful, so well made, so well produced. Let's cue it for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start. Introducing Catchin Up Podcast.
There's no copyright. I'm kidding.
It's not.
I'm just kidding. No, but even so, the other day I ordered some stuff from Abercrombie because we got an extra pay this month. So I was like, I'll take a little bit, you know, just get a couple basics or whatever. And I had to go swap the sizing on the jeans. So I'm going in there and, like, I try it on, whatever, and I'm waiting in line. And there's, like, these 5 or 6 kids in there, bro. Probably, like, 12, 13, somewhere in the, like, early teen range, bro. And they're in there and they have their phones out. And they're like, okay, we're recording. And they're screaming. I'm obviously not going to scream right now, but they're like, yo, what's up, YouTube? I'm going to go ahead and get a belt so I can choke my grandma until she passes out. And they, like, repeated it, like, 20 times, screaming, bro, like, way louder than I'm saying right now, throwing themselves on the ground. And even one of the kids that was with them is like, bro, like, why are you doing that? And I don't know if he was just saying it to, like, be like, oh, like, I'm not with them, whatever. But he's like, I don't know. It's just so fun. Like, this is how I have fun. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with kids nowadays, bro? I'm like,
what's going on?
It all goes back to, like, that's just what the influence is, bro. Like, back in the day when we were growing up, you know, like, YouTube was very early and all these pranksters and stuff weren't around, or to at least what the culture was. So, like, now, like, back in the day, I mean, we would go outside and play, or, like, we'd be on Xbox Live or PlayStation, you know, playing games, or, you know, just hanging out with each other. But I'm like, nowadays, these, like, you know, teenagers, like, even when you did we're talking about the Target story, like, their goal is to, like, these teenagers' way of having fun is going out and doing just the most stupid and most insane stuff in, like, public areas. And I'm like, bro, one, that's just sad, because I'm like, one, that's not fun. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you're just trying to, like, get attention from people. And it's just like, it's like you could be like, you're not even like building a real connection with each other, like having fun and playing and making memories. You're just going out and doing stupid stuff. And like, I get it. We all do stupid stuff, but like to different degrees. But I don't know. I'm like, I feel like that's just what nowadays they think is like, what they get to do for fun. And I'm like, where's y'all's mom, bro? She just drop y'all up at the mall.
Where's
like,
y'all's mom, bro?
Or dad.
Yo,
like what? They just drop you up at the mall and let you run around? Like,
that's gonna be our first merch. Where's y'all's mom, bro?
Where's y'all's mom, bro? It was just crazy, bro. And I was like, nobody even in the store was even saying anything. Like, we were all just ignoring them. But I don't know, bro. It's just, I don't know. I'm like, one day they're going to look back on them and be like, wow, I can't believe we did that.
I hope, bro. I don't know. Some people just don't always wake up. It's weird. I feel like that kind of just brought this thought I've had, but I don't think I've ever actually like pondered on it, is I feel like the definition of hanging out and like actual like friendship is so different than what it used to be.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Before, like you used to hang out and play games, like you said, like whether it's video games or, my mom never really let me play video games, and I'm grateful for it now. I mean, I'm grateful for it sometimes. Sometimes it sucks that she never did, but for the most part, like I think it was very beneficial that I didn't. But that being said, like I was always that kid that like, yo, let's go hang out. Let's go do something. Let's go play games. Let's go pretend to be ninjas in the woods and like do obstacle courses with the trees, and like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's like being like a true kid. Like no one was out here trying to hustle for money. You know what I mean? Like try to make a career at 10.
Yeah, but it's even like if you're doing dumb stuff, it's like you're doing dumb stuff with your friends, and like it's because you're
not trying to create content.
Yeah, you're having fun with each other, like and like going out and doing it and trying to get views, and even like what he was saying, so I can choke my grandma out. I'm like, bro, that's not funny. Like that's
not funny.
That's a terrible thing to say. You know what I mean? And I'm like, at least if you're gonna go out and do that, like, you don't have to take it to those extremes. But they're like, hey, I've seen these pranksters do these crazy things, so I have to make it even crazier, And it's just like, dang, man, like that's just crazy to me.
I feel like it's because there's those YouTubers that do that, and it works out well for their finances. Yeah. Like, that worked out well for Jake Paul, but he grew up from that. He doesn't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
You got like Jack Doherty, that's all he does. Is like and what's his name? Neo doesn't do as much as that, but Neo is just like a clout chaser. Like he just does anything for clout. Yeah. And it's like, when is enough, or when is too much? And then two is like at the cost of what? You know what I mean? Like sometimes like they're even like Jaykindafunny, the Chupapi Muñano guy.
Yeah.
And like I'm a fan of his. Like I follow his stuff. Him and his girl live in Tampa. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of local. So like I think it's cool, but like some of the stuff they do, I'm like, bro, like that would have ruined my day. Yeah. Like if I didn't know who you were, like obviously like I know who he is, I know what he looks like, I know what his girl looks like. So it's like if I see them in public, I'm like, oh, where's the camera? It's different. But like if it was my mom, like my mom would be tight at some of the stuff that he does.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff is like, did you see his latest one where it was like, donate $1 for every $1 you donate, you save a kid? And then this girl was like, oh, I only have $6, so here you go. And then him and the guy was like, all right, bring the van, 6 kids, 6 in. And then like a U-Haul van pulls up real quick with a bunch of kids. And he's like, only 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go. And then the van like speeds off with more kids in it. And then the lady's like, what? No, I want all of them. Get me out of there. What the heck's And it's like, and then like another one, like a grandma was just like, what the heck? And then just like left the kid there. And it's just like, I get that you get those types of reactions, but like if I was the person that's like, what? No, give me all the kids. Like it's not a funny joke. Like it's a funny joke, but it's not a funny joke. Like that was a little too far. Like it would be one thing if it was like a stand and like get $1, buy a kid or something like that. But like you got a van pulling up with like 15 kids, you're like only 6 of you, get out. And then the van speeds off with the rest of the kids. Like that's whack. Like that would give me a heart attack.
But that's the thing, bro. I think it's just people have found what gets like views. And if you don't have like it, and I don't even think it's necessarily that they're like, oh, like, you know, this idea, it's like you have to be able to garner people's attention with the thumbnail, with the title of the video. So like obviously that has to relate to the video. Because, you know, if you do a simpler one or one that's not as shocking, people just aren't going to tune in. But I'm like, most of their fan base is probably younger kids, you know, who are in like their early teenage years or, you know, going into like high school, college. Like those are the kids that are like really invested in that stuff, you know? Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy, man. And it's even like seeing like the video I sent you the other day about like, you know, it's even like that's more like the YouTube scene. I feel like the prank scene, like they still clip it up into TikToks.
Correct.
But it's more so like the YouTube scene for sure. But even like with TikTok, it's such a different realm nowadays too. Because I sent you the video the other day, and this girl like was saying, "Oh, I've been like making videos for like 2 years now, or like years now. I don't know how long it was." And she's like, "I've been like editing and putting in time and posting consistently and like really working hard at it. And then the other day I post a video talking about balloons and it blows up. And like there was no editing to it. It was just me talking to the camera. And I saw another video similar to that too that day. And I was like, man, it's so crazy that like nowadays it's not even about, especially on TikTok, like your editing skills, how much time and dedication you're putting into the videos you're making. Like it's now the way to, I guess, grow on TikTok or like achieve a certain success is just by like pretending as if you're on FaceTime with somebody. And it's weird. I'm like, is this because we've just become such a social media generation that like instead of going out with your friends, you'd rather just watch TikToks and feel like you're on FaceTime with different people? It's like, that's even why mukbangs, the thing that I brought up to you that I'd like to do at some point, they're so popular and they blew up, especially during COVID, because people couldn't go out to eat with each other. So instead of going out to eat with people, you know, you could order your meal and now you're eating with these people who are eating on screen a bunch of food. And it's like you guys are almost sitting down at a restaurant eating together. It's weird. It's like there's the things that are blowing up now are more so people acting as if they're your friends, you know what I mean? Or you feel that sense of friendship or like naturalness to it, I guess you could say. Because it's like the overproduced videos are the ones that you can tell have dedication and editing and time. Even podcasts like us, bro, like I feel like they're generally just not as popular, unless it's like Joe Rogan or somebody, of course. But they're generally not as popular because, you know, people can tell there's some production value here versus if we were just talking to the camera like we were talking to somebody. It's weird, man. It's just such a weird state of where social media is going. You know what I mean?
So what I'm hearing is that we have to get mics that we can hide, so we still sound good.
The Bluetooth lapel mics.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't know.
But even I'm just curious to see like where that goes. Turn.
Yeah, I'm interested too. Because a lot of the times, because you just reminded me how when COVID started, like TikTok was like the Musical.ly. So it was like a lot of dancing, a lot of music.
Exactly.
Bro, I don't see a single dance trend anymore. Maybe that's just because of the side I'm on, but like I haven't seen a single one. Hype content houses are dead. Transition videos, I used to love those. Who can make the coolest edited transition video?
Yeah.
I don't see those at all anymore. All those people just do like Twitch streams now. Like, and even Twitch stream, bro. Like a lot of the times it's just them hanging out on camera. And like they're making millions and millions of dollars and millions of views because, like you said, I think people are just longing for that sense of closeness. But then it's like, it's almost like you can get the aspect of being social without having to be social. Like I don't ever have to talk, but I could always hear you talk.
But also, whatever you say in the chat box or in the comments, like, you can say whatever you want. You don't have to have any boundaries. You don't have to have, like, your social awkwardness is kind of gone because you don't have to face any repercussions.
No repercussion.
Exactly. And it's like...
Jinx!
it's a weird thing because, like, what happens when you need to go out into the real world and, like, I don't know, get a job or pursue your passion or hang out with friends or go on a date? Like, you know, it's just a very, I don't know how this, and like I said, we're kind of in this transition phase where, like, this is the start of it. So it's just like in the next 10 years, like, how is this going to affect life in general? You know what I mean? Even I just saw something the other day, which is like super sad. And to me, at least, because I love the theaters, but this dude's like Furiosa and like If, two fairly big, you know, If, a lot of names, big animation movie. And then Furiosa, a big sequel. Granted, it came out very late for, like, you know, Mad Max, I think, came out like years ago. So, you know, it's a bit late to the follow-up. I think if you're going to do a sequel to a movie, you have like a 2-3 year window, and then people are kind of just disinterested for the most part. But they both like kind of bombed in comparison to what their, you know, budgets were. And of course we had Barbenheimer last year. You had Dune 2 earlier this year, which obviously did really well. But except for those like blockbusters, like there's a lot of movies now that are bombing that have big names in it, that have good plots, that have good premises, and they're just not doing as well as they used to. So it's like people are just opting to stay at home and watch movies, and it's like, dang, man, like, are we gonna, you know, go back to that? You know, because during COVID, it was like, I don't know, a lot of movie theaters might shut down, and then they kind of rebounded afterwards. And now it's kind of like, I feel like these next couple of years are going to be whether or not they stay, like whether or not the movies that come out can hold, you know, can bring viewers to it, especially with Marvel kind of backing down their releases. Well, yeah, falling off, but also they're just like, okay, we're going to reevaluate. We're going to like try to take time and really put our hearts into this and make quality movies instead of doing quantity. But even then, when they were doing quantity, like those were the ones that were bringing people to the box office. So it's like, now can these other movies put people in seats? Can they sell out for, you know, weeks at a time?
Bro,
it's like,
the
I don't
whole
know.
thing with Marvel though is like, aside from them changing things to fit society now, because I'm really not trying to dive into all that right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like the storytelling sucks. Like, because they're trying to just make it look dope. That, like, bro, it took, what, 10 years to build up all the characters for Endgame? Like, it's a patience thing. You can't just pop out 2 movies and be like, here's the origin story of this person, and then the next one is like Infinity War. Like, no, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, especially how they did it, and they did it so well. And bro, have you seen Madam Web? Okay, hold on. Back to what you were saying about the movie theaters. I also think another thing too is because movie theaters are getting kind of expensive and everything's getting expensive and pay is not rising. A lot of people, I think, just prefer to wait until until it's on streaming platforms.
I get that, but bro, AMC has their Stubs program, which is $25 a month. You get 3 movies a week, and they all, every time you go, obviously, like, you can earn points and rewards. So I get the snacks are still a little bit expensive, and, like, you know, there's ways of bringing your own snacks. But for $25 a month, bro, that's 12 movies a month. Like, it's insane how
I'm about to
good
start
that deal
doing that
is.
by myself, because I love you, baby, but my girlfriend does not like to go to the movies like that. So I think that's another reason, because normally I will go to the movies. I grew up going to the movies with my dad a lot.
Right.
That was like one of my fond memories. Movie hopping, fun. But I think that's another thing too, is like, one, price is true. Yes, not everyone knows about Stubs or those types of programs, but also not everyone finds it worth it because, you know, a lot of the times there haven't been good movies. But like, I get it. Like, you might as well. There's nothing to do. Let's just go watch a movie. It's free anyways. 100%. Totally different. But, you know, I think with COVID, it kind of just like screwed it up in the sense of wanting to go, and then
it got people used to the home. Yeah,
exactly. And then everyone is also just busy, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
I was lucky that I had time to like this week to just be home and like clean my room, and I mean it's a mess now again, but clean my room and do my laundry, because like I'm always like boom boom, gotta go here, then I gotta stop here, then I gotta go there, and then I gotta go to work, and then I gotta do this after work, and then I gotta go see this person, say hi to this person, at least for me. So it's like my life is so busy that I'm like, where do I fit in like the pleasure, the leisure stuff?
Sure.
So I think that's another thing too, with just society just trying to, because even if I do have the time, it's so easy to just get on your phone or turn on the TV and like, I'm going to watch one episode. I'm going to watch this one thing. And movies are getting long, dude. Movies are getting long. There's no reason for most of these movies to be 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Like, I kind of miss the days that the movies were just an hour and a half.
Well, I think it's just because studios have been shying away from like, independent movies or like rom-coms and stuff, because they just haven't been necessarily filling seats as well as they used to. So they're like, hey, we need these big blockbusters. We need these extravagant movies. And, they take more time there's like a lot more to incorporate versus like, a rom-com or a comedy, like a 40-year-old virgin or, 13 going on 30 or something like that. Like they can be an hour and 30 minutes, hour 45. Yeah. Like they don't have to be, but a lot of movies like that usually go to streaming nowadays, because they're just not, they don't have a lot of anticipation around them.
Those types of movies just aren't going to really be around because everyone's too sensitive. Like they were funny because of the bad jokes they made.
Yeah, it's hard. I think that,
because I saw that in one of the notes and I was like, that's a good topic to bring up.
Yeah. And I think like, well, obviously we don't have that much time.
Not right now, but, okay. Madam Web. If you've watched it, I'm sorry. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. And if you don't want to know, skip like 5 minutes. So, bro, tell me how I watch it, right? It's on Netflix. So I'm like, whatever. I don't got to pay for it. Dude, it was, I believe, like a 2-hour movie, hour and a half movie. It was one of those. I don't know. It wasn't. Regardless, 30 minutes left to the movie, and I still was like, I'm confused as to when it's going to start. Like, bro, it was literally like, it took 5-10 minutes to set up the story where I'll give you the rundown. Pregnant mom looking for this super spider, aka the spider for Spider-Man, right? Except she's in like the rainforest. Finds the spider. There's a bad guy in her group looking for the spider, kills everyone. He's like, give me the spider, shoots her. She's pregnant. So she's like 9 months pregnant, right? So she got a big old belly, everything. The guy steals the spider, runs away, never see him again. All of a sudden, the spider people come out of the trees. Keep in mind, I don't think any of them can even shoot webs. And then they like pick her up, take her to this thing. They give her a spider bite to help her heal so she doesn't die because she was pure-hearted. The mom still dies, gives birth. Boom. That's the whole like setting up of the story. Now it's the girl. She's an adult. She works as a paramedic in an ambulance, right? And then all of a sudden she starts like seeing the future like 30 seconds ahead of time, but only bad things. So like someone's gonna get in a car accident. She's like, no, let me drive. He's like, no, I'm gonna drive. And then the guy drives, boom, gets in a car accident, dies. So it's like she gets like flashes like that. And then she meets these 3 girls that are somehow all connected to the one day that she got her powers. She like saw one girl here, lives the same building with the girl here, and then like saw this girl in the hospital too. Like it was just random. Like she didn't know them. She just like crossed paths. Yeah. And then the guy from the beginning that stole the spider, he has the powers. He's like the spider guy.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think can shoot webs. And he has a reoccurring dream that these 3 girls that she like hasn't met yet kill him because they're all like spider girls. So like one has the tentacles coming out of her back. They're all like different powers, but all spider women. And then I'm like, oh, cool. Like they're all going to get powers. They're all going to do that. And then the main character sees the future of every time he's trying to kill them. And then she takes it upon herself to protect them. They don't know why he's trying to kill him. None of the girls have powers. She doesn't understand her powers. That goes on for literally, like, she saved them like 4 times. Then all of a sudden, in the span of 2 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, she goes from New York to, I think, Peru, goes all the way back to where her mom died in the middle of the rainforest, finds the people that saved her from dying when her mom got shot. They told her everything about the spiders, and then she flew back to New York. I believe it's in New York, right? And then met up with the girls all in like 5 minutes. I was like, what? And this is all like the guys going after the girls to kill them. So it's like, realistically, this would have taken like a 3-day trip at least. Right. And then all of a sudden it's like blink, blink, blink. Oh, okay. So now she figured it all out. And then, bro, the movie literally ended. None of the girls have powers yet. No, not a single person got an extra power other than the main character, which was just seeing the future.
Yeah.
And she's like, you didn't inherit any of the spider powers, but you can see the future. And if you can learn how to master that, you can be unstoppable. And then she ends up like losing her vision. So all of a sudden she's the new Professor X from X-Men in a wheelchair with glasses because she's blind. And then she's taking care of these 3 girls. And then the girl's like, oh, I got, and she's like, I don't remember what it is, so I'm just going to say empanadas. So she's like, oh, I got, she's like, empanadas. And then she's like, oh my God, how'd you know? She's like, I can see everything. And then because she can see the future in her head, so therefore it's like she's seeing what's going on, but she's blind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it ended, and I was like, so I just watched a movie about 3 girls getting powers, and none of them got powers. I was like, no one has this spider. Like, I'm confused. Like, this was the worst. Bro, it was terrible. Literally, the last 30 minutes, I'm still like, no one has powers. Like, nothing new has happened. It's been the same thing over and over again. Might have been the one
time that the reviews truly matched the movie. Because usually a lot of the times, like, reviews, critic reviews can be, like, bad, but, like, it's a good movie. It's just they're looking at it too critically, but that seems like it's a bit of a wash.
Dude, I literally was like, I stayed up for this.
Well, speaking of X-Men and Marvel, have you watched X-Men 97 yet?
Not all of it, because
finally changed his password on Disney Plus, so I gotta get Delaney's login. But I've watched the half of it.
Bro, I think I'm only like halfway through it too, because I'm just bad about like TV shows in general. So like it's nothing again. I love the show. I'm just like TV shows, they take me a while to finish. But I'm just like, bro, it's so well done. One, like the animation looks like it's straight out of the 90s, but new in a way. It's hard to, like, you can't even really describe it, but like they really captured that essence so well. And every episode's story is amazing. The arcs, the dialogue, the characters, what they go through. I'm like, if Marvel would just make this into movies, they'd be right back on track. I'm like, I don't understand, like, how are you writing this? And then you write some of these. I know that Madam Web was Sony, so I'm not relating to that. Just some of their other ones, like Quantum Mania and stuff. And like, I get you can do a lot more with animation visually, so I get that. But
honestly, that's not really an excuse anymore, though.
Yeah, but
technology is so advanced, you can do anything.
True, but I don't know. It's still like, sometimes I'll think about it. I'll like be watching it and I'll be like, okay, if this was on the screen as like real actors, would it look the same? And I think it would come off differently, just because, I don't know, it's just how it is. Like, animation sometimes gets a pass for like very creative things because like it's animation, it looks cool. Sometimes when you try to do it on screen with like real people, it just doesn't look the same, it doesn't feel the same. But anyways, I'm just like, bro, this is probably one of the best things they've put out in general. Like, it's amazing. And I'm just like, if you guys would just put the effort you're putting into this, especially with the writing, like, I can't stress enough, like, the writing is so good in that show. And like the lessons within each episode are amazing. I'm just like, just do this. Just follow whatever you're doing here, or whoever you have writing this, like, have them in your writer's room, have them helping out with these ideas, and you'd probably have a great series of movies lined up. I don't know. It's so weird how you can do such a good project and then have like 10 other movies that are just bad. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, how? It
doesn't make sense at all. And I agree. It's a great show. Like, every episode, and I love that the episodes are like 20 minutes.
Like 30, but yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not an hour.
They're not super long.
They're less than an hour. It's like, it's cool because it's like, You feel like you've watched so much more. They're all jam-packed. Every episode that ends, you're like, oh, whoa. Like, every time there's, like, a plot twist.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And it's awesome. And they're great plot twists. You don't really see it coming. But, bro, that what I was kind of trying to say earlier is you guys have the comics. You have a script that is proven to be successful because they've been out for years and everyone loves them. Why you got to change it up so much to the point that it's, like, bad? You know what I mean? Like, Invincible. Have you seen Invincible yet?
I've seen a few episodes, yeah.
Bro, you got to watch it. It's
I really like
really
it.
good.
Yeah, I really...
And it's...
The problem is I've been going back and forth between the two, and so I get a little bit confused because, like, I'm like, oh,
Fair.
let me watch one here, let me watch one here. So, but I mean, that's an amazing show too. That's like The Boys animation.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, bro, like, the writers are out there. You're just not grabbing them.
Yeah.
The Boys, great. Invincible, great. The X-Men 19 whatever, great. Bro, it just doesn't make sense. I agree. But you'll hopefully this X-Men thing is a sign that Disney's trying to really take it seriously and go back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
And I honestly, bro, I think the last straw, like their final I guess for lack of a better word, their final glimpse of hope is gonna be this Deadpool movie. If this Deadpool movie is bad, bro, I don't think there's a coming back from that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good, bro. I think because Ryan
they've been
Reynolds
hyping it up.
Yeah.
Because they also extended the release date, right? Wasn't it supposed to come out way sooner?
Yeah,
From what I remember,
think
at least.
But yeah, I think it's just because Ryan Reynolds has such a he's very attached to it, and I'm pretty sure he was the reason like it got made in the first place, like the series in general. Like he had been trying to get it made, and so he's had a big like advocating. He's been advocating for it. So I think like he definitely puts a lot more time and attention and care into it. You got Hugh Jackman. I think there's gonna be a bunch of cameos. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I need to rewatch the first two so that I kind of know where I'm at, But the first two have been amazing. So for this one, it is hard because when you get people so hype and anticipated for a movie, sometimes people come in like overly anticipated. Where like, if every single frame isn't amazing, they're like, oh, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. So it's like you kind of can shoot yourself in the foot a little bit there. But I think true fans of it will like understand that like that's not the type of hype you're supposed to have. Like, yes, it should be a great movie. It should be dialogue worthy. It should have a lot of great elements to it. But like, I feel like sometimes when a movie is like that, people go into it with like way too high. Or if like it's the same thing with an artist. Like if Kendrick Lamar, I mean, usually he follows through a lot of time, but if he comes through with an album like 5 years later, people are like, oh, if every single song isn't perfect, then this or that. It's like
that's what happened with Ray Shmurda.
Yeah, Shmurda. I think it's Ray Shmurda. I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, but it's just like overly hyping movies, and like nowadays you're always getting spoilers on Instagram and stuff. And I'm so tired of that with movies. One, I think trailers nowadays show way too much of the movie, and I also think that there's just so many media outlets that are trying to like, oh, we think this guy's in a cameo, and they're trying to get like pictures from set, and I'm like, bro, you're ruining the movie experience. Like, what's the big deal about trying to get these things out there before, like, oh, so you get a couple of likes, you get a couple of views? Like, let people enjoy the movie for what it is, and let it come out and shock people. I'm like, that half the time ruins big parts of movies, because if there was supposed to be this amazing cameo that nobody would have known about, well, now there's already been speculation. So when it happens, people are like, oh, like, okay, it's really cool, but like, you still don't have that shock factor there. You know what I mean? And that's all part of the movie experience. You know what I mean? Like, that is all things you're going to walk away with when you leave the theater. So like the fact that it's even in your mind before you go in ruins, I feel like, at least personally for me, kind of ruins it a little bit. Of course I'll still enjoy it, but I'm like, I'd rather just go back to the days where like movie trailers were short, or they were just just a glimpse into what the movie's going to be. And spoilers were not all over social media. You know what I mean? It's like that needs to die down, like, because it's just too much, man. It's like, let us enjoy the movie for what it is. Let the surprise. I think even Ryan Reynolds spoke on that. He was like pissed because he's like, people keep saying things or getting photos from set, and he's like, that's not, like, that's ruining the experience. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to do these things for the fans, and then you guys are the ones ruining it, you know?
Just to wrap things up, I don't think anyone will ever beat, like, the best. Like, there's no beating cameo wise that Spider-Man movie. So honestly,
we'll see.
Everyone, let's be honest,
we'll see,
bro. I really doubt it. That was insane. I've never been in a theater
that was really cool.
where everyone was like jaw dropping. For those just listening, they're all like, you know what I mean? It was.
Fortunately,
very well done.
I was able to, because I don't think I went opening weekend. I don't know, but I don't think I did. Maybe like the week of, but I was very fortunate to be able to avoid spoilers for that. Because I would have been so mad, bro.
Facts. Me too. But I'm curious. The only reason I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna be is because I remember Ryan Reynolds saying that he was having a lot of problems with the directors and the writers because they were trying to switch things up for today's society so it's more accepted, and it was taking away from the movie, which is what they've been doing for all these Marvel movies. So that's why they flopped. So that's why I'm curious, because I think, don't quote me, but from what I remember, it was more or less like Ryan almost like didn't do it anymore. He almost just like threw the project away because they weren't letting him do what he wanted.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I'm really interested to see how this Deadpool is gonna go, because it's honestly like the last thing they got, genuinely.
One last thing before we close out here. Have you watched the Ted TV show?
I have not. You told me to watch it, but I have not watched it.
I don't know if you need to pay for the month. You need to get a free 7-day trial. Like, you need to watch that show. It's so freaking good. It's on Peacock.
Maybe I'll get it because I want to watch The Office again.
And, bro, the thing that I love about it is because it's Seth MacFarlane. It's the dude who does Family Guy. He doesn't care, bro. He's not trying to be accepted. He's not trying to censor his jokes for social media or for critics. Like, it literally is if you adapted Family Guy to the screen. Like, it's phenomenal. It's so funny. It's so well done. It's so lighthearted, but it also has those jokes in there. But, like, it's really cool because there is also lessons in every episode, and like even when it gets to those more quote unquote serious parts or like, you know, more dramatic parts, it always like rounds it right back out with the comedy. And like a lot of the times, because it's the bear saying things, he's like, oh, well, I can get away with that because I'm a bear. I'm not like a nationality. I'm not a race. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? But it's just so well done, bro. And like even the aesthetic of it's really cool because they shoot it, I think most of it on the Universal backlot, and like they don't try to necessarily hide or make it look like it's real. Like it looks like it's on a set, but like think about it. Like that's the best way to kind of do that show because Family Guy, it looks like it is a cartoon universe. So they literally tried to, at least from my perspective, they try to make it look like a cartoon universe, just like real. You know what I mean? But the problem with that show is that it's $10 million an episode, bro, to make that. Because they have, from what I understand, they have an animatronic bear, but like they have to, you know, obviously do their CGI and stuff over it. But bro, the bear animation, like I know, I'm sure you've seen the movies, but like even in the show, it's flawless, bro. Like it genuinely looks like there's a bear right next. It's crazy. But it's just so well done, bro. It's like the dad is a total freaking Peter Griffin. He's just the worst type of person. And like, you know, they have like she's staying with them as, I think that's like her aunt or whatever. And she's like the kind of like, you know, level-headed one who's always calling them out on stuff. Like if they say a racist joke or like something like that, like she'll call them out, but then they'll like, you know, justify it however they want. But it's really, really good. You should check it out. And everybody else who hasn't seen it, you should check it out. It got renewed for season 2.
Nice.
I hope they'd make like 20 episodes, but they're probably only going to do like 7 or 8 again because it costs so much money. But it's amazing. You really should check it out. It's really, really funny too.
And to wrap things up, appreciate you guys for making it all the way through the episode. If you didn't, well, you wouldn't be hearing this, so thank you.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us on all our social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, every audio platform that you can find us on. It's in the link down below. Make sure to give us a couple comments, likes, subscribes, ratings. Helps us out a bunch. If you guys want anything if you want us to cover anything, let us know. We most likely will, to be completely honest with you. And also, the season's almost coming to an end. So let us know what you want to see next season. And for those of you that forgot, my name's Gabriel.
I'm Tyler. And be kind. In a world full of cruelness, be kind.
Peace, love, positivity. Be kind.
All right. We'll catch you on the next one, man.
Peace.
Peace.